But anyway, thanks again, you guys. Tonight is part 2 of our, what did I call it again? I don't remember. Deck the halls with a growing business or something. Um, oh my gosh, I'm going to try not to cough through all this. Anyway, it's just a dry cough. I'm not even sick. I just keep coughing for no reason. So anyway, we're going to talk about expanding your network and building relationships. And I felt like these two went together really well because they they go hand in hand. They're almost step 1 and 2, in my opinion, of this whole process. So we talked last week about attraction marketing and what it is. And I'm going to touch and refer back to that a little bit, just like I referred to expanding your network a little bit in the last post. They all really intertwine together, and that's why I made this series. So let's talk about why it's important to expand your network. You've probably seen it mentioned. It's been in trainings. You may have watched trainings on it before. But it's as simple as that. It's important because you're at some point, your network will become tapped out. Now, whether you started with 100 friends or 1,000 friends or 4,000 friends, there will come a time, it may take longer for those with like 3,000 friends or huge networks in person too, to tap their network out, but it will happen. I've had my network tapped out, I think, twice in my 3 years. So when I first started, I didn't really have one. I had to build one. And then I tapped it out in about a year and a half. Like all my potentials, they either were my customers or my ambassadors, or they were just like flat out no. And I was like, what am I going to do? I don't have like anybody else to market to. And so I had to expand my network. I had to go find new friends, new people, new network. And you have to continually keep doing this, because if you're doing your job right, then you will be continually converting people over and putting them either in the categories of customer, they want to join you in the business, or they're just not interested and they just want to be your friend. And that's also cool, and what we're going to talk about too. So this is something that continually needs to happen, but I will tell you that you will most likely go through seasons of all of a sudden you realize your network is capped out and you're like, okay, this is an expanding network season of mine. And I did that in really October, November was a huge focus of mine. And then also like weeding out other people too, just really flipping my whole network in general. So that's what inspired me to do this, because I've really been practicing it the past couple months. So anyway, let's first start with, how do I find groups to really expand my networking? Because I'm going to really speak to more social media expanding your network. I will touch on doing it in person as well. But you can just have access to so many people all over the world and the country on social media. And so that's mostly what I'm going to touch on. And Facebook groups are awesome for so many things. And one of those is making new friends. So how do you find groups? Well, I'm going to refer back to last week when I discussed, or I guess it was just a few days ago, last Thursday. What is your brand? What are your words, your keywords that you're looking for? Who are you? What are you interested in? And I hope that you have those right now. That was your homework. And really look, okay, what are my keywords? What kind of groups and people am I wanting to attract? And really go in that direction. And if you're not sure, y'all are in some groups. I'm going to tell you this right now. No one on here is not in a Facebook group that has nothing to do with, like our team pages. You're in something. And there's a reason for it, whether it is like, I don't know, like a workout group, a minimalist group, a homeschooling group. Oh my gosh. Because I'm in like a journey to zero waste group. I know I get recommended groups all the time. I know half of y'all on here are like these hippie mama groups. That's awesome. I'm going to make some suggestions though. Join groups that have smaller amounts of members. So go in these huge groups that you're already in and say, hey, I'm looking for, maybe find some of your keywords and drop 2 or 3 groups that have to do with this, or name a specific type of group you're looking for and say smaller, more tight-knit groups. There will be people in there that will make recommendations, because we don't always know the words to type in Facebook search to find like the best groups. So that's super important. I like asking for recommendations, even posting on, your own Facebook page, but mostly in groups, bigger groups that you're already in, and say, hey, I'm looking for, recommendations for other groups to find. I'm in some, like this Yoga Mamas group. I like looking for less than 500 members when I'm really looking to network and build relationships with people. So I'm in kind of these bigger groups. I'm in like a natural birth group. And through that, I found a really tight-knit, it's like less than 200 people due date group. And that's just where I'm at in my season of life. Obviously, it hasn't been the past 3 years since I've done my business, but I'm really enjoying it right now. So that's just an example I'm giving. But I've built a lot of relationships with people in there. I know their names. They know me. We interact with each other. I'm going to talk about that later. But my whole point is to find groups that you're interested in, that you have common interests with people, and that are smaller. Because if there is a group that has thousands and thousands of people, when someone asks a question, and I'm going to talk about this in just a second, your goal is to add value to the group and to those people, your answer is irrelevant, because it's already, what you were going to say is most likely probably already been answered, and there's probably already like hundreds and hundreds of comments, and all it's going to do is you're just going to get 10 million notifications a day. And I'm in those groups, and I read a lot. It's a great starting place, but just from personal experience, find smaller groups. So this, I found like something online talking about what to post in Facebook groups to attract the types of people that you want to attract. And I took some of the advice that I really liked from it, because I liked the way that it was spelled out, and I added my own to it. So my number one piece of advice when you're like, okay, I'm in these groups, I found them, Rachel, they're smaller. I like the people in here. It's right up my alley, whatever that is. I don't care if it's horseback riding or chewing bubble gum. I don't know. I don't give a crap. Whatever it is, you like it and it's up your alley. You're like, okay, what do I do now? Yeah, you can respond to other people's stuff, and that's great, but it's really important to be an active member. So number one is be yourself. Okay. Ask real questions that you have. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something I posted. I posted a funny meme in my due date group the other day. I did one about like super embarrassing like pregnancy moment. I'm like, please tell me I'm not alone. Anything. Like I posted one of my headstand pictures in my Yoga Mamas group, asked if there's any other, women who continue to do inversions during pregnancy. And just really, I get involved with them, and I post things that are relevant to me and relevant to the group, that really lets my personality shine through so that people can get to know me. It's really fun to do call to actions in those groups too, because you can really get to know people better, especially in those tight-knit groups. Okay, so in these groups, I hope this doesn't need to be said, but it does. Oh, cool, you met Brianna in a group? That's awesome. I love it. Most of my level ones I met in a group too, and they're like some of my best friends. So your goal is to build relationships in these groups and to find like-minded people to be your friends, whether it's online. I hope that they're genuine people that you enjoy interacting with on a daily basis. That's the goal. The goal isn't to go in there and like advertise and try to sell your crap, or try to get, it's not crap, but try to get people to join your business. That's not what the goal is here. The goal is to just find people that you truly enjoy and like, and to build relationships with them and build a rapport. So when you're posting in these groups, if you want to post content, I guess, post valuable content. And this goes for your main page as well. But if you're going to post something in a group, make sure that it is either it's entertaining, it's educational, it solves a problem, or this said an attachment of desires. It's something that other people would really like and enjoy. And it's really easy to duplicate being educational, like in your area of expertise, like even just something that you found helpful. And I don't have very good generalized examples right now, so I apologize. But my example is I discovered that you can I always froze my breast milk in 4-ounce mason jars because I really don't like using plastic, and I hated those silly, like, just throwing away the plastic bags all the time. And I like made so much milk. It was ridiculous with Charlie. So I freeze my milk in these little mason jars. Well, I discovered that you can put, I think it's a Komotomo, am I saying that right? Whatever brand nipple, like a rubber nipple on the mason jar, and then screw the top back on, and it makes a bottle. And then there's like you're not losing any milk and transfers. So I posted this in one of my groups that it was relevant to, because I wanted to tell other people about it. I was excited. I gave them content that was educational. And I'm trying to think of another one. I told them about babylistregistry.com instead of using like Amazon or Target or something, because that's something that is really relevant to me and helpful, and I wanted to share that with them. Sometimes in healthy eating groups or different things like that, I'll post a recipe that I tried and really enjoyed. You can go in whatever direction you want. It doesn't have to be like supplement related or gut health related necessarily. It can be, make sure it's on topic for the group is essentially what I'm getting at, and something that you know about and have knowledge on, because you want to add value to them, because this is going to help them build a relationship with you. It's going to help them connect with you. And it helps grow a mutual respect, essentially. They're really going to let you be like, okay, this chick, or this dude, knows their stuff. And they know what they're talking about, and I really enjoy what she posts. I really like her, and I will tell you, one of the best ways to build a relationship with somebody is to get a conversation going with them in a group and joke around with them. Some of my best friends I have made by seeing a comment that they made in a group, and I'm like, I like their style, whether it was something funny or, maybe even snarky, or just oh my gosh, that was great. That's exactly what I would have said. I'm like, I like that person. And every single one of you on here shaking your head because you've had moments like that. So I think my friend Allie is one of my level ones. That's how we became friends, because we kept liking each other's comments in a group. Okay, let me see where I'm at in my notes, because I got on a little tangent there. Let's see what Kristen had to say. You don't have a lot that you're an expert on. Yeah, well, just find interest. Whatever that is, more than you think you do. I call lies too. You have a lot that you're good at, and whatever interests you. I don't care if it is, I don't know, making your own dishwashing liquid. It's just something that you don't find super amazing or important, but that's something you can add value to others with. Whether it's just you're hey, I found a good new way to do my eyeliner, and you want to share that with people. Whatever your interests are, learn about them and just share stuff that you learn. That's all it really is. It's just being yourself and sharing your knowledge with others. Okay, cool. That gave me time to find my next point. But anyway, so the goal of this is to build relationships with people. And once you build a relationship with people, once that's established with other members in the group, they're more happy to connect with you because they're familiar with you, your expertise, and the value that you bring to them. So if I went through, let's say my due date group, it's a Crunchy Mama's due date group. I love it. And I just started friending people out of the blue, who is this chick? And then they might see my stuff in their timeline, and they'll be like, I don't know who this is. And, they don't know me. That's not going to work out as well as if I go in there and I take the time to build relationships with them. I post in the group. They know my name. They've probably seen my interactions, or I've interacted with them. They know who I am. And so when I friend them, they're like, oh yeah, it's Rachel. And then they see my posts, and we get to know each other better that way. That is how I go about doing it. It works amazing. It takes more time, but it's fun. This is the fun part of my job, is connecting with people and really expanding my network. So the people, and the point I was trying to make was, you're a real person to them. We are not just someone online that they have like seen their name once or twice. Like you are a real person that they share common interests with and that they like and respect. If you're expanding your network in your area of interest, that's all it takes. They see the real you. They like you, they respect you, and you're a real person and you bring them value. They're going to want to be friends with you and they're going to want to follow you online. And that is essentially like the backbone of what expanding your network is. So the next step of this, and this doesn't really have to go along with expanding your network necessarily, but I think it was relevant enough to mention, and I really, really liked how it was brought up. This seems to be a whole other Zoom, but really looking at your profile and your social media presence and how you present yourself through just your profile picture and your cover photo, because that's like first glance what people see, and the things that you post on a daily basis and in your content. Think to yourself, would I want to work with me? Because it's the next step. You've made friends with people, you've added them, they know who you are, and now they're your friend. And I hope that you're yourself on your social media, but talking about it business-wise, saying, would I want to be friends with me? Would I want to work with me? Would I want to be my own client? Would I want to trust me to help me start a business that I'm scared to death to do? So really do a lot of self-reflection in that. Look at your pictures. Look at how you present yourself. Are you positive? Are you genuine? Are you authentic? Are you helpful? Do they have a reason to trust you with recommending supplements or whatever your other interests are? I know a lot of people on here have like complementary businesses. Like with Asia, I know she has like the Minimalist Mama. With what she posts, does that convey that she is an expert? Does she know what she's talking about when it comes to being a minimalist? Does she add value to people through that? And does she show her competence for healthy living by actually living that lifestyle or on that journey, making an effort? So that's essentially what it boils down to. I love that question of asking yourself, would I want to work with me? That's how you should look through everything in your lens. And here are just some pieces of advice. I was trying to decide whether to share it in this Zoom or not, but I think I will, because it kind of goes along with that. But, once you've added these people, you've expanded your network, and you're going to start building relationships with them, and I'm getting to that. But we need to look at, how am I coming across? So this is something that I've learned over the past 3 years. It's also something I was reading in my research for the content for this Zoom. But I think it is really, really important to develop interests and, in your brand, develop your interests outside of Plexus. I feel like I've said this in not so many words, or maybe not as blunt, but I think having another business type deal, a service that you have, or it doesn't have to be a service, but adding some sort of content and value to your friends through other interests that you have is undervalued in this business. I feel like when people join, they're so excited about Plexus. They want this to be their avenue, and I want it to be that for you too. This is my family's full-time income, you guys. Like, I make the majority of my family's income. That's what this is for me. I'm in this for the long haul. Like, I'm going to be a diamond. This is what I do for a living. But it's important that Plexus isn't all that you do. Like, I don't want you to just be Rachel. I'm just going to use myself as an example because pregnancy brain is really getting to me, you guys. But I don't want to just be Rachel with the cute introverted kid who sells Plexus. Okay, like, that's cool. Essentially, if you want to break it down, I guess that's who I am. But I want to be, so-and-so's friend. I want to be Courtney's friend, Rachel. I wrote it down too. Courtney's friend, Rachel, who loves yoga, is funny, empowers and uplifts others, lives a healthy lifestyle, is super green and eco-conscious, and truly cares about people. Oh, and who also runs her own business. It has to do something with supplements and nutrition. And she knows her stuff. Like, that's the type of person that you want to be. And And then again, this is going off on a little bunny trail. But if people know everything about Plexus and everything about your product, it's not so important that people know the name, because then they could just go and Google Plexus and they're going to get all the information that they need to know. Like, add a little bit of mystery. Don't blare Plexus everywhere all the time on your social media or in your life. Make it be a little more, I call it ninja marketing, and I'm going to do a whole Zoom on this, but I wanted to touch on it tonight. Have other interests and show that you're an expertise in supplementation, and show how the supplements that you take, like how your magnesium supplement helps you, or why you love your omega, or why, your significant other really enjoys X Factor, or why you give your kids X Factor Plus. And you don't even have to say the name. You don't have to mention Plexus. You don't even have to say X Factor Plus. You can say my kid's multivitamin and talk about why you love it. That is going to get people intrigued and get them interested without it being up all in their face. And the goal is planting seeds in your marketing, as well as, when you're in groups. The goal is to build relationships and plant seeds. And guys, that's been my focus for a while now, but I've really made an effort lately, even more so. And my sales are like through the roof. They're not like insane or anything, but I got 3 new customers yesterday. Okay. Like, this is working and I'm loving it. And I love the direction that my business is taking. And I love the way that, like, my friends, when I go to yoga, I talk to other people about me and my business. They're like, oh yeah, have you talked to Rachel? Like, I saw someone mention something about you. So I walked into class and someone's like, yeah, I've been having digestive issues. And one of the other girls goes, oh, have you talked to Rachel about that? I was like, yes. They don't even know really that it's Plexus or what I do, even though they're customers of mine. They don't really know that it's network marketing, essentially, and I'm not ashamed of that. But I just loved it. Like, they see me as a person of expertise on supplementation and healthy living. And they know, like, it has something to do with digestive and gut health and immune health and stuff. And I love that. And it's really empowering to me. I just really like the direction that that's taking. And I wanted to share that with you guys. And I thought it kind of went along. And if it didn't, oh well. So hope you enjoy that. So let's move on to some technical ways to build relationships with people. This is something I actually had to do a lot of research on in order to share with you guys, because communication and people skills are just really one of my strengths. I'm really good at reading people, like, naturally. That's just when I'm not good at a lot of other stuff. But this is something I'm pretty darn good at. And I've also taken the time to develop my skills. I've read a lot of books on emotional intelligence. I've read books on active listening. I just enjoy, like, psychology, and I just really like people in general. And so I did some research to give you guys some good, solid steps to build relationships with people. So step number 1 is develop your people skills. Even if you have natural people skills, like, there's still more that you can learn. And I found a quiz online it's like 16 questions, and it gives you a score. And then based upon your score, like, tells you, interpersonal relationships, you got a 19 out of 20, and resolving conflict, whatever. It gives you a score, and then gives you, like, recommendations of resources and how to improve. So I'm going to post that in the team page. I'm going to, like, share the link to this recording, and then also the link to that quiz, because that was super cool. So learn where your people skills are at, and also learn how to develop them. There's a lot of really great books out there. But I won't get into all of that. Number 2, identify your relationship needs. Okay, so this is just in general relationship building advice, not necessarily like Plexus or network marketing or anything, but it applies. And I really like this. So what do you need from others? Like, what are you looking for in a relationship with this person, this theoretical person that you have added as a friend? I hope your goal isn't for them to be a customer. Like, that's not the purpose here. The purpose is to make friends. And if they just so happen need your services and your supplements and they want to support you, then freaking awesome. If the business is for them, awesome, cool. I love helping others. If not, you have an awesome new friend. So really look at what do I need out of this friendship, out of this relationship? What do they need? And that will really help you build that relationship even deeper and further when you realize what you both need out of it. Okay, number 3, schedule time to build relationships. This is huge, especially if you're like not really a uber people person. You don't just love hanging out with people or interacting with them. You have to plan it out. So schedule 20 minutes a day. You're like, okay, this is my building relationship time. I don't get lost in the Facebook hole. Okay, don't fall into that trap. Oh, excuse me. But message people, like respond to them, build relationships with them, respond to their voice memo with a voice memo. I do that while I'm driving. That's like my relationship building time is I send voice memos to people and just like chat with them, continue our conversation from the day before. Even if it's just 5 minutes here and there, those interactions are going to build up. Excuse me. And also in person, I'm loving developing my in-person relationships. Tomorrow I'm going to get coffee with one of my yoga instructors. She just moved here from out of town. She moved to Nashville, just started working at my studio. Oh my God, I love her. She's so cute. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to be her friend. And I'm like, hey, we need to go like get coffee or whatever. So she's like, hey, come to my class at 9:45 tomorrow and let's go get coffee afterwards. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to build my relationship with her. I've scheduled that time in. The other day I scheduled time with a friend. She's like on my list. I don't think she's ever really shown interest, but I just think she'd be good at the business and I want to work with her. So she's written down somewhere. But I really need to build a relationship with her. We danced together when we were kids, but we're never super close. And we live like 2 hours away, but we have not been able to get together. When she's here, I'm there. And so we've just scheduled a time. We're literally just going to chat on the phone on Friday sometime between 2 and 4. And that's just what we're doing. Like I'm going to go drive somewhere and talk to her. Like that's what we planned on. So yeah, anyway, just have fun with people, talk to others, chat, be friends. Just make sure that you're scheduling time to do that, whatever that looks like for you. Number 4, focus on your emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is essentially your ability to recognize your emotions and be able to realize what they're telling you. And being able to do that will also help you recognize other people's emotions and what they're trying to convey. This really aids in communication. All of that jazz. It just helps you be a better friend, a better communicator. This will help you be a better leader, a better business person when you can really recognize people's emotions even through text and on social media. I have a book I picked up in an airport once on emotional intelligence, and it was kind of dry, but I like that kind of stuff. It was interesting. So there's a lot of information online on that. Number 5 is appreciate others. It's just as simple as that. Like, tell people thank you when they do something that helps you. Show them appreciation when they help you, no matter how small or big it is. People just want to feel valued and appreciated. And like, I don't know, when people tell me like, hey, thanks for helping me out with this earlier. Like, I did a goal mapping session with someone and she's probably on here. I did it with her earlier today, and she said thank you, and I was like, well, yeah, duh, like that's my job. I love doing it, but I still appreciated. Oh, hi, Charlie. I still appreciated being told thank you, even though obviously it's not like a requirement, and I wouldn't think of anyone any less for not saying thank you. Like when they do, I'm like, oh, that was so sweet. And people feel the same, so genuinely compliment them if a friend helps you out with something. Number 6. Hey, baby, I'm doing a call, okay? So you need to be quiet. I'm almost done. Okay, thank you. Sorry, guys. Number 6, be positive. Simple as that. Life is not always sunshine and rainbows, and that's okay. Like, don't be fake, be authentic. But no one likes to see that person complaining on Facebook all the time or that negative individual. Like, positivity is infectious and it's attractive, and people will want. We're out of snacks. Yeah. Hold on 1 minute, okay? Come sit with me. And then number 7 is listen actively. So this is huge, and it's actually something that I had to learn, and it transformed how I interact with people. It's transformed my friendships. It transformed my coaching experiences, is really not listening to respond, but listening to listen and to hear people, letting them finish. I used to have a really bad habit of interrupting people because I thought I already knew what they were going to say. But listening not only to the words that they're saying, but how they're saying it, to their body language. There's a lot of really good information and research on there, like on active listening. And it's just a skill that's really easy to develop that will really change things. So especially when talking with new friends that you're building relationships with, if you're actively listening to them, you can realize what their needs are, kind of if you read between the lines and really listen to them. And also when you're working with customers and prospects, like if they're saying, well, this is what I need. You know, I had a friend message me and he said, I'm not sleeping well. You seem to know a lot about this stuff, is what his exact words are. He goes, I'm not sleeping well. Do you have anything that can help? And it's just like, oh yeah, I know, Mega X helps with sleeping, and this and this and this and that. I was like, yeah, I have some stuff in mind, but tell me more about why you think you're not sleeping well. You know, is it anxiety? Is it pain? Is it kind of you just don't know? Like, tell me more about it. I really wanted to listen to him and hear his needs in order to make a proper recommendation. And I actually ended up recommending something different than what I would have if I just recommended supplements out of the blue. And it also helped me build up a relationship with him and a rapport, because then I learned, oh, you know, it is a little bit of anxiety, which I already knew he was going through. But also he had restless leg syndrome and was having trouble falling asleep and staying asleep. And so when I was recommending Mega X and BioCleanse and ProBio 5, I was able to say, this specifically will help with your restless leg because blah, blah, blah. This specifically will help, you know, omegas help with lowering stress levels and are clinically proven to, you know, help you sleep better and are brain healthy and heart healthy and all of this jazz. Helps with your joints. I was able to specify that towards him, and that made the sale so much easier. Like, I literally sent him an email with more information, and 5 seconds later, he was like, okay, send me ordering info, and he ordered in 5 minutes. It was awesome because I knew exactly what he needed and was able to really specify that. A little caveat there. So I hope you enjoy that little tip. And last but not least, I just want to talk about how I specifically build relationships with people. I really comment just like on their post a lot. Like, I don't want to say all the time. I don't do it obnoxiously. But by the way, I'll read y'all's chat here in a second. But I really just like to learn about people and talk to people and build relationships with them. So like someone posted a picture of their really cute kid the other day, and I was like, how old is she? Because I realized that I didn't know. That's so simple, you know? And then that started a conversation about like, oh, she was 15 months. Oh, I liked that age. I talked about really loving 3.5. Opened up a whole conversation. One of my other friends, she posted about making, when she was pregnant, she has a newborn now, about like afterbirth stuff. She made like a bath, a tea, baby lotion. She made all this stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, you need to tell me how to do that. And so I just messaged, like I commented too, but then I messaged her. I was like, hey, can you tell me more about like what all you were making and, you know, any recipes that you have? And guys, I think we ended up talking. I was working at the same time, but I was just talking to her whenever each of us were responding. And we talked for like an hour or 2 hours one day because the conversation just kept transforming. And that was a really great way. I feel like I have a strong relationship with her now and could just message her about some stuff. just because I asked questions and I wanted to learn from her. People like to talk about themselves. So when in doubt, just ask them a question about themselves. Ask them about their family and like, their kids. People love to talk about their kids. And like, talk about common interests that you guys have. Oh yeah, that was my next point, is find a reason to message them and develop a more personal rapport. Commenting is great. Asking questions and comments is great. But finding a reason to message somebody, like, I don't know, I messaged someone. I was like, I noticed that we're in like 20 of the same groups and we're friends. And I realized I don't really know anything about you. And I was like, you seem like a cool person though. And she's like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking the same thing, that I see you literally everywhere. And we just started a chat that way. It doesn't have to be anything planned out or important. Just be you, be genuine, and be authentic. Another way to build a relationship, just ask somebody to lunch or coffee. I asked this chick to coffee. I just messaged her out of the blue. I was like, hey, we need to hang out more. I really like you, but I haven't been seeing you at the studio lately. And she's like, okay, let's go get coffee on Wednesday. I was like, okay. That sounds good to me. And then another friend, I was like, let's go grab lunch. And we did. She ended up wanting to talk about Plexus while we were there. And then she was one of my customers that bought yesterday. And then I also like to just ask people like, hey, you want to come over and like drink some wine and watch a movie? Like, that's cool. Like, bring your kids. Let's like let them fall asleep on the couch in their PJs and let's have a mama movie night or whatever. Leave the kids with somebody else, with grandma, with dad. And y'all go out to a movie together, go grab brunch with a friend. Like, make efforts to build relationships with people. And I'm telling you this not only from a business standpoint, because it is really good, but also it'll make you feel so much more fulfilled. Like, your social like meters, what I call it, is going to be so full because you're going to be building relationships with these people who like you genuinely like and enjoy. And it never hurts to have more friends. Like, they don't have to become your BFFs for life, but to have people, especially like in real life, that can come and hang out with you, like, hex to the yeah. Like, we all need more friends, especially those that are like-minded, because those are the people that you're expanding your network towards. And a great way to find people locally, by the way, I know I saw someone earlier said that they joined a local gym as childcare, and that's a really good way. Find something that you're interested in, you like. My yoga studio, I love it there. I love that community. But also I'm in like some local, like Middle Tennessee groups, Nashville Crunchy Parents groups. I'm in like my county, like Women of Williamson County. That group can kind of get a little crazy, but they have like meetups a lot, and I've met some people through there. It can be just whatever, like, and just find people and, just be like, hey, anybody want to go on a hike with me that's local? And guess what? You're going to have local friends on your Facebook page now, like on your friends list, because you found them through a group. Thank you for drawing all over my notes. And I'll just leave you with this, with building relationships, is to be genuine and be authentic. Okay, that's fine. And like I said, the goal is to make new friends. That's what this is all about. And to really come into your own, like, find your niche, find your vibe. And therefore you're going to find your tribe, as cliche as it sounds. They may become your clients. They may not. They may decide that this business is something that they want to do, and they trust you to train them. It might not be for them. You know what? That's cool too. Either way, you've made a really good new friend that you have stuff in common with, and who respects you and enjoys your company. And that's what this is about. But when you're looking at it numbers wise, the bigger pool you have, the higher chances you have of people being interested in what you're doing, the services you're offering, the products you're offering in your business in general. So that's my little notes there. Next week, I'm going to be doing authentic reaching out and closing the deal. So I'm going to talk about, okay, once you've built the relationship with them, how is it that you actually like bring up Plexus and talk to them about that? And there's so many ways that you can do it, but I'm going to give you all my tips on that. And then, yeah, I'm going to stop the recording and look at this chat real quick. So thank you guys for joining, and those who are watching the recording.